Hi, this is Gwyneth on a fabulous Feel Good Friday, helping you to market yourself in that next interview so that you absolutely nail it, so that you are clear on your values, what it is that you want, so that you are actually going for jobs, going for a future career. Maybe you even have decided that 2020, the next decade, is going to be the time where you say goodbye to being an employee and you set yourself up in business, just like I did a few years ago. If so, you've got this, and I'm going to support you, cheer you on all the way. Now, I've been in Pristina for a lightning visit, another few days, working with GIZ on a coaching project, which has been very exciting because although coaching is quite popular in the US, in other parts of the world, there is still a lot of skepticism about whether it can work. Some people say it's just too simple or it's just too fluffy. We don't need that kind of thing. But I'm absolutely thrilled that another organisation is at least considering that there could be a different way of doing things to make changes in people's lives, to actually help them to transform. People don't understand that, not often enough anyway, that transformation is an individual thing. It's not going to come from out there somewhere. It's going to come from in here. It is very foggy. I'm an optimist. I am confident that the fog is going to lift so I can get on my plane later this morning. Still got a couple more meetings, but there we be. So at this time of year, I always post this type of post about social media. Even if you're not on social media, please keep listening. For those of you that do have a Facebook or a LinkedIn account or some other kind of account, please check your settings. I've already seen a lot of photographs. These days it's not difficult for anybody just to hold up their phone and click, and before you know it, there you are for the entire world to see with a party hat on or maybe a glass in your hand, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But sometimes you may be in a position where you're going forward, where you're going for a senior promotion, or you're going into a new company where people don't know you. And there is still that statistic out there that demonstrates that more than 60% of people who do an internet search for you, and believe me, a lot of them do, people who are doing an internet search, more than 60% of them will allow what they find to influence their decision about whether to work with you or not, albeit on a subconscious level. They're not going to say, oh, I trust the internet. But we have become so used to believing information on the internet. Now, if somebody finds a photograph of you and they don't know you, they are going to make a very, very swift judgment, and it might not be what you want them to think about you. So please consider, especially on Facebook, looking at your privacy settings, and do not allow people to tag you on Facebook in their posts, and switch off face recognition immediately, because it could get you into trouble. Just recently somebody tagged me. They didn't mean it badly, it wasn't as sinister or negative, but they tagged me when they had checked into a hotel in another country, in another part of the world. And if I didn't have my privacy settings as strict as they are, if somebody had seen that, it's like, crikey, what's she doing with that person in that country? It's okay. I can manage these things, but just be aware, people might mean it very well. We were all together having a great time, end of year party, we made it through to the end of the year, but going forward, you might not want to have that on your timeline. Now, if you're not on social media, consider at least putting up a LinkedIn profile in the new year, because we are so used to, it's an automatic reaction going on to the internet, putting your name into a search engine if I want to find something out about you. So by the same token, if you have photographs there that maybe should not be seen by others, by the same token, it's also important to understand that if you don't have a profile, the person looking might think, well, what's wrong with them? Now, you might just say, I can't be bothered with the whole social media rumble. But please remember, it's about image, it's about impressions, it's about perception. Also, if you're on LinkedIn and you don't have a photograph, I know that if I get a request from somebody who wants to connect, if there is no photograph there, and I've never heard of them, honestly, I just delete. If somebody wants to be on social media, there's nothing wrong with putting a photograph. They can't do anything with your photograph. It's up to you how much information you put about yourself onto LinkedIn and other platforms, and it's up to you to manage that. These social media platforms, despite everything that's happened in 2019, they can only use the information for marketing if it's there. If it's not there, fair enough. But a photograph, there's not much they can do with a photograph. So please do consider doing that for 2020, especially if you are looking for a new job. Now, finally, if you've been looking at my free book, or if you've been looking at my One Interview Away package that at the moment contains everything you need to get ready for that next interview, even if you don't know when that interview is going to be, the package as it currently stands is only going to be there until the 22nd of December. After that, it goes away in its current form. Of course, it will still be there, the programs will still be there, but the bonuses, the current package will not be there, and the prices will also be going up for 2020, because this is how I pay my bills. Even though, I love doing this, some people, I know, they wonder, why am I asking for money for my products? Well, it's because at the end of the day, it's still a business. Just because I love doing what I do doesn't mean to say I don't have to pay the bills as well. So there we are. If you're thinking about going forward, getting ready for an interview in 2020, have a look at that, because honestly, it's mega value, and a lot of people have already benefited from it, and I would love you to be taking the steps to having the most fabulous interview you've ever had in your entire life in the next decade. And on that note, if you are celebrating, I wish you a very Merry Christmas. Have a fabulous time, whatever it is you're doing, even if you choose to be at home on your own. You know what, there's a lot to be said for cracking open a bottle of champagne and maybe having some smoked salmon, putting your feet up in front of the telly. If you're with friends and family, have an amazing time with them. I send you all my love. Stay fabulous, and I'll be back once more this year before the 31st of December, before we start crashing into the new decade. Loads of love, and bye for now.